Yo, what's good, y'all? Art's here back with another video. Today I have three awesome content creators with us and one member of the BSL draft analysis. Week 2 was kind of a crazy week, I'm not going to lie, but before we get into that, let's have the other content creators introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm actually Amoonguss. You can catch me over on Twitch or YouTube under actually Amoonguss, and I'm coach of the Atlanta Sobbles. And I guess that's about it for me.
What's up, all you Pokemaniacs? I'm Kanto, Critic, and I'm your coach of the Nashville Slashers. Yeah, so that's about it. That's all I need to say.
Hello, I am D&D noob Eric. That's not my name on YouTube, but I can't upload. Anyway, I'm the coach of the Bonita Bowl Beaks.
Howdy doody mates, my name's Shady Defeat, and I'm your coach of the New England Crawdons.
I love how Shade has Howdy Doody. Kanto has What's Up Pokemaniacs, and me and Brandon's just here like, yo, what's up, y'all? I love it.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah,
actually,
but,
people in his community saying howdy doody now.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump right into this. Week 2, we had so much fun recording week 1. Like we said, last week was just a test week. We didn't know how you guys would react to it, but the response was so positive that we had to come back and do another one. And this time we have some interesting things to break down. There's a lot of, there's some controversy, some controversial battles. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna start right away, jumping right into Shade of Defeat and the New England Crawdons versus the Bonita Bowl Beaks. So Shade, you could jump in anytime and start breaking down what happened in your battle.
You guys ready to start it?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Alright, so in this battle right here, I'm facing Eric, who's also in chat with us. So this battle was a stressful week for me, to say the very least. Because there's a lot of stuff on his team, like his Aromatisse could really come out, wall me. So that was something I had to prepare for. He starts off with Salazzle, which kind of like threw me off. I go like, okay. So my plan here was to go for knockoff, because if he stays in, if he stays in, it'll still KO. If he switches out, I knock something off his team. He goes for the fake out. So Eric, tell me, was this a physical set, or was this just?
It was not a physical set. I brought fake out for Focus Sash Galvantula.
I
didn't want webs up on my field.
See, my team, I really like how I build my team. My team, it doesn't matter if I'm the slower one or the faster one. My team will always prevail at some point. He was like a really good play for me, knocking off the weakness policy.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
And this was the coup de grace, as I would like to say. So I was switching out, expecting a fire type move. Don't want to take down my Crawdon yet. Goes for Drain Punch. And the most beautiful thing that I ever seen happened. On's Effect Spore.
That ability's so dumb, dude. That's so dumb.
Say what you want, it wins battles.
It won you this one, at least.
Hey, that's still... So this one he switches out into Corviknight. I just go ahead and click out Moonblast. Try to get any type of damage I can get. So what I was expecting next was either Bulk Up or Iron Defense. So I just go ahead, I'm going to switch out. Swap out into my Ryuji, aka Flareon.
And I mean, to Shade's point, if you think this Effect Spore is broken, they do have a new item, Protective Pads, that can stop it. You don't have to deal with it.
That's true. That's true.
Prepare for it.
Someone explain what Protective Pads do. To be honest, I never looked into that item. What does that item do?
It basically negates the contact effect of moves.
Yeah.
So like Iron Bark, Effect Spore,
Poison Point,
Poison Point, any of those things.
Flame Body, that kind of thing.
I'm not sure.
That's a Gen 8 item, right?
Yeah, that's a new item. I'm not sure if it works for recoil damage, but that'd be really cool too.
Interesting.
So he goes. So he hits agility and then automatically just Gigantamaxes. So I go, okay, this still works out in my favor because he wasn't +2. If he was, if he Iron Defense, I'll be more worried about that. But
did a lot.
So Flare Blitz did exactly what I needed to do.
Unfortunately,
that's the only reason why I needed Flareon to come out. So Flareon was really just for one Pokemon and one Pokemon alone. And after it did his job, I just let Arsene come out, aka the mascot of the team, aka Crawdons.
aka the bane of my existence.
Hey, Arsene's just such a great persona.
So you
But
stick
anyway, so
Persona theme on the nicknames this week,
yeah,
as every week?
yep.
I'm
just
slacking so hard in that department. I still haven't came up with a theme for my team yet. I think I know where I want to go, but I haven't done it yet.
I don't have one this week. I don't even think I named all my Pokemon in this battle, but I plan to play with the themes and the nicknames throughout the season, different ways.
I'm still sticking with Demon Slayer.
Oh yeah. So right now, I knew he had first impression because when I was team building, I noticed that I got that. So I go, okay, because I thought he was gonna bring that just for my Hydreigon, because that would be a really good counter for it. I switched back on, hoped to get like another effect spore off, which it did.
That is so lucky that you rolled the same status too both times.
Well, I found out that you can't poison it, so it was a 50-50 shot. That was either going to get paralysis or sleep.
You're right.
I would have preferred paralysis to sleep, to be honest.
I prefer the one that helped me win.
Well, yeah.
Which it did.
Sleep was obviously the most devastating, and like still pretty lucky to roll that twice.
Oh yeah, and so
allowed you to break claws. Like that's pretty lethal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Legally break claws. Legally break claws.
So for anyone who doesn't know, we have a sleep clause in this draft league. So, but how the moves work in Effect Spore, I didn't purposely put him to sleep. That was just the effect happening. That was just bad luck on his part.
Yeah.
So I go for G-Max Snooze now. Also, this is 50-50 shot of putting him to sleep.
This was a misplay on me. I didn't realize he couldn't flinch out G-Max's. I shouldn't have faked out. I should have sledge bombed.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I was expecting the sledge bomb, so I go like, okay, if I just Gigantamax, I can take a hit and fire back on my own. Ironhead Dragovich was kind of surprised. I was really surprised about that. And I get the drowsiness. So G-Max Snooze is such a great G-Max move because it has a 50-50 shot to put him into drowsiness. So he either has to stay in and try to hit more, or he has to switch out.
Right, unless he was going down next turn.
I didn't calc this, but I probably should have checked to see if Fish's friend did more, which it probably did at that point.
Oh yeah. So here I just decided to go for Fire Punch, see how much it does. See if I can get like another 2-hit KO. I noticed that I wasn't doing it much, so I go like, it's probably gonna wake up and try to go for Drain Punch. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on, so that way if it does wake up and goes for Draining Punch, I'll live it, and he won't give much health back. So for this one, I was looking at his team, making sure he didn't have anything that wanted to come into a Moonblast anymore. So I went ahead. That was my best play to move Moonblast right there. Gave Vileplume its first kill on his debut.
Yeah, this Vileplume was MVP of the battle for sure.
Oh,
definitely,
100%.
And now you have this Corsola in front of you, which you wasn't carrying Toxic on this thing, were you? The Vileplume wasn't carrying Toxic, was it?
Were you running Will-O-Wisp?
Okay.
I think he was talking to you, Shay.
You do have answers for this.
Wait,
yeah, I was.
Did your Vileplume have Toxic?
You didn't have.
I didn't have to
No.
I didn't have to run toxic.
You didn't because you have the Quardon and the
Caught on with knockoff.
yeah.
Because doing a damage calc, knockoff would one-shot most of his team, even without my life orb.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. This Quardon's gonna be annoying to deal with in the future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this week I ran a Lumberry on it, because if he started off with Corsola and I start off with Crawdon, all I had to do was click Dragon Dance once. It's either he put up his rocks first, or he put Will-O-Wisp on me. Either way, after that +1, I guarantee one-shot most of his team.
I actually didn't have rocks.
You didn't have rocks?
No. Surprise! I don't remember. I think I put Rain Dance on it, so to make Vicious Rend more powerful.
So this play, I was really happy. I was finally able. I was able to knock out this Durant before I could wake up. Sleep is just so broken in this
Yeah,
gym.
it's so crazy. That's what I'm thinking this whole battle.
Sleep
I'm
is stupid.
Eric didn't have a chance to do anything really.
Yeah, dude.
So it brings in Tanjiro, and I go like, cause I was thinking about switching out to something, but I just decided the best play is just go ahead and let my Chronon go down. He did his job that I needed him to do.
But Dracovish has a great move set. His move pool is bigger than I thought.
So now all I do right here, I just go ahead and throw on Hydreigon.
Scarf Dragon.
Yep. Only way you run it.
Yeah, see that's one thing that you actually had a good matchup against the Boat Beaks, and particularly against that Corsola. Not because Corsola is a pain to deal with, but
oh wow, you
haven't
changed your mind
dark
so
type.
fast from first.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's over there?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, bro.
Real quick.
Yeah, after watching the battle, because you know hindsight is 2020, you had a great matchup, Shade. and also the Boat Beaks pulled up to the battle very tired. It appeared. It looks like they wasn't ready for battle. They just wanted to sleep instead. So
Yeah,
I had a counter to that, but it wasn't able to work out, unfortunately.
What was your counter?
Sleep Talk on Dracovish.
Oh, okay.
oh wow.
Yeah, I had that prep, so if you tried putting that asleep, it's like, okay, just press that button. That's what Dracovish does, it just presses buttons.
I'll be honest, watching that battle, there wasn't much you could do, Eric. Like, you had such bad luck, man. It was so bad.
Yeah.
What do you mean bad luck? That was all skill on my part. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude, you just got to smack moves against that Durant like 4 turns in a row. You couldn't do anything.
It was tough. It was tired.
There was definitely some luck involved with that one, but I must say, because my battle's up next, and it's kind of the same story in this next battle, that the luck helped, but in the matchup helped too, but like the preparation was really a big difference in this one, because like a couple of y'all already said, like there were very few routes to victory for Eric in this one, and that's what the preparation is all about, like closing those out while leaving yourself some lanes open. And so yeah, I mean, if y'all are ready, we can go ahead to mine.
I'm already there.
Already.
Yeah, just count down.
So yeah, all right, 3, 2, 1. So in week 2, I played against the Baltimore Blaziken and Coach Tansy, and I must say that like there was some big matchup issues that I had to face down in this one. A really strong ground core in Hippowdon and Excadrill, but I got to give full credit to my opponent, because just like in the other game, the preparation was pretty on point in this one. This Decidueye that you'll see throughout the entire battle, I probably underestimated this, because it really it gave a lot of problems to me and my team. The way that they set it up was a great utility against me. It does a lot of different things in this battle that are like marquee, moment. It plays a big role throughout every phase of this battle.
Oh, so I see you bought your Shuckle this week.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm
so
jealous
this
of that Shuckle.
week
I wanted
also-
it so bad.
This week also I was.
Yeah, I remember from your draft. I'm sorry. I remember you really wanted Shuckle.
I did, man.
I went pretty aggressive early on again in my plays, and maybe I need to relax a little bit, let the game develop a little more, because that final Gambit play, maybe I could have made a more conservative play, but I didn't foresee the Decidueye being as key as it was and as good of a matchup against me as it was. So I was thinking once that Webs was down, we're halfway there. We just gotta get some work in on the rest of this team, get damage on a couple things, and we might be good to sweep. But we come to find out otherwise. One of the main keys in this matchup, and one of the things that I don't know, maybe in my own preparation, like maybe you could consider it a overthink or something like that. But like looking at the Gigantamax matchup, which we know we learned week 1 already that was super key in who was going to win these battles. But you look at the Gigantamax matchup, and it's pretty terrible for me. He has Gigantamax Duraludon, and I have Gigantamax Toxtricity. So that being the point, that you notice I didn't even bring my Gigantamax this week.
Totally was you out.
And I was just thinking that maybe it wouldn't be the best Pokemon, the matchup's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what there is to say besides it totally walls me out. But maybe in hindsight, I could have prepared like a certain set that might have worked and allowed me to at least bring that mechanic into play for my team. It's a hard risk to not bring it. It's a very difficult uphill battle to not.
But then in your defense, like what would it have worked against? You get what I'm saying? He has a Paladon. He has Escadrille. So that's besides the Gigantamax matchup. He still has, which is like 2 of his prominent Pokemon. Like all of that pretty much walls you out.
It can switch in on this, which is honestly, it's even proved to be a problem. It knocked off my choice band and is able to provide like the right kind of pivots. Especially because I have like fighting coverage on this Arcanine.
Right.
But, he knocks off my choice band and like is able to just pivot it just right where this really like breaks the matchup against me. So maybe if I brought the right set, like it has access to good neutral coverage moves like Boom Burst and stuff like that. So maybe I could have brought a set that would allow me to use Dynamax to maybe get a little bit of a little bit more work done just off of pure value of the mechanic. Like I said, though, I got to give.
To be honest, I just don't. I don't see any situation where your Toxtricity would have worked.
Yeah,
I don't either.
It's a problem because, where you have the ability to come in on Decidueye, you also don't have the ability to fire off that Boom Burst if they switch in the Decidueye, or like if you
Right.
and get locked into it. So in the end, I did my prep and just decided that it wasn't the right thing to bring. But it makes it hard. It makes it an uphill battle from the beginning. And full credit to my opponent, because not only did they, kind of lock me out of a lot of options, having a lot of options against them in this battle, but as you were saying, and you look at the team that they brought and what does it work against, they locked me out of that too. I couldn't really do a lot. It was a hard matchup to break, and I try to get my webs up and get some, natural advantages going my way, and then I get my veil up to get even more.
Yeah.
I almost take down the sand setter and think that, like, I know they're going to switch it out, or figure they're going to switch it out, and think that, like, I'll be able to, eventually beat that and take it down, but I allow them to recover. They keep their weather throughout the battle, which keeps the like, even if they don't send it out, because Excadrill hasn't came out yet this battle, it makes it such a threat in the back. It has steel typing, it has ground typing, it's fast when the sand's up, and it's just, it's just, you all know what I'm talking about. Knowing that Pokemon's in the back, you have to play a certain way. So I guess what I'm saying is still full credit to my opponent for, preparing in a way that locks me out of options. They made a key prediction as well on that slack off to not switch out on low health, because I could have obviously fired off another Blizzard with higher speed than the Hippowdon and took it out, but I made the switch, and they predicted that with the slack off.
I can't remember who did I predict to win this one. Was it you?
I think we all picked Sobbles.
So we didn't talk about Shades, so I'm gonna bring that up real quick. On Shades battle, we had only Arts had picked the Bonita Bolt Beaks to win, so we all had scored a point on that one. But then on this one, only Kanto had picked the Baltimore Blazekins. So this is
Kanto's 2-0.
A solid pick for him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And,
I'm
too.
Yeah.
He actually is able to defog off of my my whole, like, game plan here. Really, he just defogged off my entire hopes and dreams, and then it's pretty self-explanatory from there. Like, they're able to keep their weather control alive and just maintain their natural advantages, as well as you'll see, it's not really wanting to run spoiler, but you'll also see the Gigantamax Duraludon come back out, and it's just such a, truly, it's a wonderful pick as a Gigantamax, because it covers a lot of things, like Dragon Steel typing, need I say anymore? But like, it creates just so much natural value and advantage. It can do different sets, It's hard to prepare for Gigantamax like that.
It goes really well with his Sand Core as well. Like, I think he has one of the scariest teams in the league. I really do. Like, that's just such a good core of Pokemon to have on your draft league. It's just wild, man.
I will say, of the Baltimore Blazekins, there's 3 2-0 teams. I was probably going to talk about how we did on our picks going into the Week 3 matchups, but while this is playing out a little bit more, there's 3 2-0 teams, and this team, the Baltimore Blazekins, in my opinion, has definitely shown the most promise out of all of them, because you got to remember, in Week 1, they were able to pick up 4 kills with that Excadrill and take the early lead in the MVP race. Then in Week 2, not to run spoilers, but they pick up the first 6-0 in the season against me. So
yeah, man, when I seen that you went down 6-0, I knew it was some, not shenanigans, but like, it had to, and looking at it, it was legit the matchup, because
and
you are a great battler.
Only
yeah. No, most definitely. They brought exactly what they needed to bring.
They prepared extremely well for this battle, and they're going to be a threat moving forward. The Baltimore Blazekins are my early number 1 in my personal, like, power rankings. And so, Kanto Critic was the only one that picked them in week 1 to win. Of course, it's hard to bet against yourself. I'm not going to bet against myself probably any week, but you'll definitely see me picking the Baltimore Blazekins coming up in some future weeks because they're going to be a threat.
Yeah, they're scary. They're really scary.
So we have this super scary Gigantamax, and I mean, this thing just has so much HP and just so much value. I can't even say it any better than that. It just brings pure value to this team, and so I gotta give shout out to the coach for that as well, and knowing that, because like at this point there's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. You know, I can just wear this thing slowly. It's got the right coverage moves for my team and the things that I brought. Like it just clicked max darkness. I already know this thing's gonna go down to a max darkness whenever I click this leech seed.
So here, why didn't you go to Komodo instead? I mean, I know it has the max depletion with the dragon, but maybe you could have tried to play for a crit or something. Because your Escadrille would have been like, say if not Escadrille, your what's this thing? Your tree. I'm just gonna call it tree. Like I'm drawing a blank. Your tree would have been like key in the battle, dealing with that Escadrille later on in the battle. Trevenant, thank you. Trevenant.
You know what? Yeah. No, that's what I call him too. That's why I said I'm bringing the tree. I got a tree.
Okay, matter of fact, I see what your play here. You was waiting out the Gigantamax.
Yeah, I was just basically just gonna risk.
And then you went Dragon Dance
and maybe hope I barely
switch
lit.
Here.
Also, was trying to wear out. You know, bringing in the Trevenant when I did. It was gonna go down during its last turn of Dynamax. You know, so I didn't really have much of a hope at that point, but maybe, just maybe, if I could have lived that Draco Meteor, I might get something going for myself. But
yeah,
it is what it is. And the Baltimore Blazekins definitely make a big statement in that one.
That was a statement victory for sure.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was.
I'm telling you now that I could. Now I know my picks and my bets have been terrible, but I'm 100% positive that the Atlanta Sables are not getting 6-0 again. That's probably not going to happen again.
Watch next week.
Oh, I will also say I'm gonna learn some things from this battle, and I'm gonna double down on my preparation.
I'm scared for my week 4. I'm gonna be honest. Week 4 is Tansy. I have to go up against them week 4. I have to deal with the sand.
It's a very strong team.
I mean, with your Dracovish, it might prove to be a match for him.
Yeah, your Dracovish actually matches up pretty well against a lot of his team.
You could be the streak breaker.
Will I get my first win?
He'll be breaking 2 streaks. He'll be breaking 2 streaks at once.
That'll be a league history. You'll be one of the first people to make league history right there.
So you ready to write next?
Okay, we on Kanto?
So is mine next.
Yeah. Okay,
I hate
sure.
to see.
Art's next.
Yeah. All right. So I have mine's at 8:51 because that's when I see the cards coming up. All right. All right. So 3, 2, 1, bang. All right. Now, as you know, based off a week 1 draft analysis, I came into this battle extremely confident. I love the Gengar Snorlax matchup. I love the because like I said, I knew they was gonna bring. I predicted pretty much everything they was bringing in the team preparation, and I just loved our matchup. Like for instance, I have Cinderace just going mon for mon. I love Cinderace against the Corviknight, the Whimsicott, Snorlax against his Gar, somewhat his Mimikyu, but I knew if Mimikyu got up his Swords Dance, then I could be scared. It could be kind of scary. But yeah, so turn 1 they led
Gengar.
So yeah, they led Gengar. Okay, no. So they did lead Gengar. They led Gengar, and I calc this. I knew that Life Orb Cinderace, a Pyro Ball, could one-shot Gengar. Obviously, if it's not Focus Sash or if he's not Gigantamax. So I had a feeling they would lead the Gengar, expecting me to lead our Grimmsnarl. So I led Cinderace, knowing that in that 1-to-1 matchup, we could have won. But I'm pretty sure maybe they would have calced that as well and known so. So I was pretty sure that they would go out to the Rhyperior. And against Rhyperior, I would always either go Rotom or Passimian. Passimian was, I believe, what was it this week? I think it was Assault Vested.
It was Assault Vested.
It was Assault Vested, but several hits from this Rhydon, and I wanted to knock it off turn 1 just as Shay did, because most of the time when you see yeah, but I was pretty sure at the same time that he was not going to make that mistake again of going into Gengar from week 1, but I was 100% positive that this thing was rocking weakness policy, so I definitely need to get that off as quickly as possible, because as we know, Rhyperior is weak to a bunch of things.
Too many things, to be honest.
Too many things, right? So I went Iron Head instead of Close Combat here, anticipating either a Mimikyu switch or a Whimsicott switch. And if he stayed in, obviously he's gonna hit it for super effective damage as well, and possibly get a flinch. They did stay in, and as you can see here, the Iron Head did absolutely nothing. So at that point, I was banking for the flinch. Plus, I also didn't want to go Close Combat if they stayed in, because I would get the defense drops as well, and I didn't want to take that, because then obviously I would have died here. But to be honest, once I could have probably finished it off with a Close Combat here, but I switched out because really Passimian was my best answer for his Center Scorch, because as you can see in the moveset, we were rocking Rock Slide for the Center Scorch. So I definitely wanted to keep Passimian around. So we switched out to Rotom here, and he went for the Hammer Arm, which was a great play. And obviously he's not going to stay in here wanting to keep the Rhydon alive, so we went for Volt Switch, which is going to do amazing damage to this Corviknight. Right now, I say the battle's going 50-50. They're making great plays. I'm making pretty decent plays as well. Both of our Mons are taking major damage. This Rhydon's below half, and this Corviknight is just about to kick the bucket. So here, I believe this play here, I go straight up for the bounce. Here I go for Court Change, because I want to get the rocks off my side of the field. And I knew his Rhyperior was below half, so I know next time it came out, I could pretty much knock it out with anything. So here we definitely went for the Court Change, and once his Rhyperior was gone, there's no way he would be able to get really hazards back on the floor. So I knew he wasn't staying on Corviknight, so I knew Court Change was the correct play to go there. And then I go for the bounce here. A lot of people, how do you guys feel about bounce? Do you think that's a deal? I have so many people that tell me bounce isn't a good move, but for coverage reasons, like for example, if I didn't have bounce, I wouldn't have been able to touch the Center Scorcher much. What do you guys think about bounce?
Bounce is like a 50-50 chance you can actually do something with it, in my opinion.
It's like this, in my opinion. On the ladder, I would definitely not tell you to run back bounce if you can't get that G-Max Windstorm. But in a draft battle, what you got to look out for, the problem with bounce is setup fodder. It's very predictable.
I see.
You can lose the game by clicking bounce. But
I see.
In a draft situation, you can just ask yourself that question: what could they do if I were to click bounce at the wrong time? And if you don't have any issues, if this is the worst thing that can happen, and you want to get this matchup to get the you kind of have a lure here with this Cinderace to bring in the Rhyperior and down, and so that you want that. And so in this situation, bounce is good, but in like a rank, if you're on the ranked singles ladder or the showdown ladder, I would not tell somebody to use bounce unless it's for max Windstorm.
Or if you're running that one item that makes 2-turn moves go on that same turn.
White Herb.
White Herb, yeah.
I still wouldn't tell you to use.
I mean, his accuracy isn't the greatest thing either. I think that's the biggest problem people have with it. The fact that as a 2-turn move and his accuracy isn't 100%, I believe. It's not.
Yeah.
I think it's actually like 85 or something like that. Is it? Or is it 90?
That's
90.
true.
It's pretty low. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Alright, but as you can see there, it kind of worked out there. No, not kind of. It worked out lovely there. I knew once the Rhyperior switched it on rocks and took the bounce damage, it was not going to live a high jump kick. So boom, we was able to take out the Rhyperior there. And then going into this Gengar, obviously my switch to the Gengar is Snorlax 100% of the time. Hindsight, I could have won, but there's no way I could have known this because he could have easily have gone for the Ghost move. I could have also switched out the Dual Blade here on that Poison move just to burn the turn of his Gigantamax. And then the next turn switch into Snorlax. But either way, Snorlax was the best play. Obviously, this is yet another situation where Gigantamax versus Gigantamax. Snorlax matches up really well against the opposing Gigantamax, which Snorlax, I'm starting to realize, matchup wise is really, really good against other Gigantamaxes. Especially obviously coupled with that the G-Max Renaissance. Not Renaissance, G-Max Replenish. Yes, Replenish. Getting my berry back again, a lot of health back.
I don't know if this is an obvious point, but when it comes to Gigantamax advantage, both Snorlax that you have and the Duraludon that the Baltimore Blaziken had, you know, yours is an even better example, but HP is doubled when you Dynamax. So
yes, sir.
Pokemon with high HP are like kind of better, right? Like, I'm trying not to make an over obvious point, but they get more increase.
Right.
You know, your HP, your natural HP is 200. You're gonna go up 200. If your natural HP is 400, you're gonna go up 400.
Yeah. So imagine when Dynamax Blissies entered into the game.
Well,
I'm going to be so mad.
Also has the pairing ability of the G-Max Replenish, which makes him just like really, really fat.
Right. I also have options, like for example, say if I was to go against Kanto Critic and his team, I could also run the Thick Fat ability instead of Gluttony, which means his Ice type moves is going to be doing even less to me. So I'd have like Snorlax is really, really good. I have plenty of options with Snorlax. Luckily, so far, the Gigantamaxes I've gone through on the other side have been special attackers, which makes it even a better matchup. But here, as you can see, this is where the battle starts taking a turn for the worse. They summoned this Mimikyu here, which was actually the best play. I actually called it out when they did, so I was like, they're going to go Mimikyu here. This was by far the best play they could have done, because this allowed them to get up a Swords Dance for free, basically. Looking back, maybe I should have ran Heavy Slam, but at the same time, it wouldn't have made a difference. Still would have went down here. I'm pretty sure I still would have went down here, because at this point in time in the battle, I don't believe I had a Reflect up. So even if I would have Max Steel Spike and got a Defense Boost, I still probably would have went down, because this is a +2 Mimikyu with Life Orb. So I probably definitely would have went down here. So obviously, here I had options. I could have gone no, I do believe I go to Grimmsnarl here and do get up my Reflect. So obviously that's something I had to do to try to salvage this battle. If not, Mimikyu would have just rampaged starting from this point here. So we get up the Reflect here, and I think this allowed us to live a play rough. I think it does. It allows us to live a play rough.
This might be a random comment, but I must say, nice work on the Pokemon icons and graying out the Pokemon that faint. Very
nice touch. I was thinking that too. Very nice.
I had a lot of help with this from one of shout out to Kanto Critic, by the way, for introducing me to Lucario. I'm not sure. Do they have
Lucario?
Any way that people can follow? Yeah, Lucario.
Then he's like my best friend.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So shout out to you for introducing me. He helped me out with this big time. So obviously, I don't know. Did you realize the layout? Did you, when you seen the video, you was like, this looks familiar.
Dude, it's looking clean.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I recognized him. Like, he got Lucario. He hooked up.
Yeah, Lucario. Shout out to Lucario.
It's too close to mine. I'm gonna have to sue you. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm totally kidding, man. I love it.
When we was doing this, I was like, is there any way you could hook me up with a layout, but it's not too close to Kanto's? So then he was like, we could add the fire energies to it. I was like, let's do it.
Dude, I love it. It's great.
So yeah, and then obviously I did my own little touch, obviously with graying out and whatnot. So yeah, that's good. But here, as you can see, Grimmsnarl went down here, and this is where I'm gonna call no Johns, but I got screwed here. we have this matchup here with Cinderace and Mimikyu. So obviously Mimikyu is gonna go for the Shadow Sneak here, because if not, it's gonna go down to a Pyro Ball. So we get this critical hit here. So obviously after the battle, I did the calcs to see if the crit mattered, and apparently they did a lot. So when I calced it, I was at 48% of health. That Shadow Sneak was only doing 34% max. So even after say without the crit, I would take 34% max. It was doing 28 to 34, so that would have been 34% max, which would have been leaving me at 14% max health. And even after life orb damage, if the Pyro Ball hits, we still would have been able to get off another move. But unfortunately, we didn't get that chance to do that, so that kind of turned the tides of the battle. Because if Mimikyu went down here, then all we would have had to deal with was Sensor Scorch, which we could have got a lot of damage on with Bounce. Whimsicott, which also could have took a lot of bounce damage or Pyro Ball damage, and obviously from the range of health that Corviknight was at, I had options to hit it with as well. So that crit kind of screwed me here. But at the same time, I'm going to say Carlos put himself in a great position to where if he did get that crit, it basically set him up to win the battle. So once again, no Johns, although I'm salty and I think I should have won the battle. I think I should have won this battle, but because I talked to Carlos afterwards. And he was like,
"The sleep is done."
He was like, if I would have took down Mimikyu, he probably would have went out to this Whimsicott, which we see, and probably went for a trick. So he would have tricked on Choice Scarf to me, and that's okay. But see how that would have helped him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't understand how tricking a Choice Scarf onto my Cinderace would have helped him. And to be honest, him sending out Whimsicott straight up on my Cinderace would have made me kind of skeptical, because I'm well aware that prankster, and I would have just been fearing a Memento, to be honest. And I would have probably switched out Cinderace anyway and used something else to get Memento on, even if I wasn't fully aware of the Choice Scarf play. But yeah, I mean, it happened, and obviously, as you can see, we proceed to get wrecked the rest of the battle, and this battle ends up being a 3-0. So it happens. What are your thoughts on the battle?
I like the layout.
Crit. Yeah.
It is.
It has nothing to do with the battle, Kanto.
It's hard to talk about this battle without talking about that crit. You do hate to see it, but it is part of it.
You really do.
So, I mean,
I think you
shout out to Carlos
well.
though. Like, all jokes aside, shout out to Carlos, because like I said, he put himself in a position to where the crit, like I said, moving forward, what I learned from this battle is moving forward, I gotta play a way where a crit won't influence the battle as much. You get what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing I learned from. Yeah, that's the biggest thing I learned from this battle.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos's prep was definitely solid. They made sure that they, kept their routes to victory alive, and you were starting to take a lead that kind of got switched over. Your Gigantamax is really, really hard to prep for and really hard to deal with. I know that from week 1 personally, but they brought a solid array of tools to deal with your team.
Yeah, for sure. And, like Flash Fire Sending Scorch was great. Alright, but yeah, that's pretty much it to my battles. You can see here we're gonna get taken out by the Sending Scorch here, which Burn Up our Sending Scorch was a great play. Because Burn Up is a special move, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, so they know that I have a lot of physically defensive mons, such as like the Dual Blade, Rhydon, things of that nature that could take physical hits extremely well. So even as putting on Burn Up instead of going for a physical Sending Scorch was extremely good prep on their part. So shout out to Carlos, man. Like I said, they definitely earned the victory because they put themselves in position to get the victory. So like I said, shout out to them.
You guys both played well. I mean, like, it's Pokemon, man. I know we say that a lot, but it just is.
I'm about to say RNG might be on your side one day with powder, effect spore. Then it might not be on your day when you have to be asleep 5 turns trying to click that bug bite.
Yeah, your day will definitely.
Thanks, man.
RNG was on my side.
Eric.
Yeah. Oh.
Y'all ready to boot up the next one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
Kanto.
we're moving on to Kanto. Go ahead, Kanto.
So, okay, it's me next. I'm gonna click play in 3, 2, 1, go. Lock in chat, man. Oh, I should probably mute this. Okay, so I didn't have as much time to prepare, and that's totally on my end. My opponent prepared very well, as you will see. I was off from the beginning. I thought they were gonna lead with the Gastrodon because I was expecting the Vaporeon instead. So right off the bat, kind of like you, Amoonguss, on week 1, I just got off on the bad start, and it just kind of snowballed from there. My biggest downfall this week was bringing Will-O-Wisp on my Rotom. Because my plan was I was going to get a burn on this Copperajah, and I had no clue. I literally had no clue Obstagoon had guts. I was like, okay, it's just going to be some sort of obstruct, I don't know, defensive pivot Pokemon. That's kind of what I was thinking. But not at all. I go for the Will-O-Wisp here. He does the smart play, and I talked to the coach after this, and they were like, yeah, I saw that Will-O-Wisp coming a mile away. So I was like, good plays, man. I actually love Obstagoon, so this makes me kind of happy seeing myself get wrecked by it. But
this is also a great example of the point I was bringing up, because like both of our opponents, they cleared out our routes to victory. You know what I'm saying? You needed to burn that Copperajah, otherwise it's just a big bully.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of Pokemon that can just take pure advantage of you trying to do that, clearing out that win condition for you.
And also, I will mention, him going for Stealth Rocks turn 1 on Copperajah really, really hurt me. He was able to get chip damage through those Stealth Rocks, plus, of course, later on, no spoilers, but in his max Steel Strike, whatever it's called, where it sets up the Metal Stealth Rocks, he was able to get so much chip damage off my Pokemon, and there was nothing I could do about it. Like, I think I had Defog on, or Rapid Spin on my Mr. Rhyme, but at that point, it was just too late. Like, I couldn't do it. Did I have Rapid Spin? I can't even remember. But anyway.
Possibly brought Defog on your Rotom over Will-O-Wisp.
Or you could run the trick set, you know, that was an option.
Yeah, that as well. That Obstagoon it got me on the back foot so early in this match. And the amount of prep I did do, it was for the Dragapult, obviously, because Dragapult is just so scary in general. And the Copperajah and Togekiss, I mean, like, that's RNG at that point. Like, he's just going to spam Air Slash and hope to get those flinches. But I went into this, I was like, okay, push comes to shove, I've got to get my Veil up. I've got to click G-Max Resonance, get that Veil up. But this Obstagoon was so prepared, man. It ends up having Brick Break. Absolutely just botches me, man. Spanks me. But listen, the coach was a very nice person. They were like, you did okay, Kanto, after the battle. So I do think that I made a pretty good run towards the end of the battle trying to come back, but there was just such a deficit this Obstagoon set me at. My Lapras is sitting there almost dead, you know, by the time this thing goes, or it is dead. It ends up taking it out, and it was just tough. I didn't have Veil. It goes back to what you were saying, Amoonguss, like, at this point I have no G-Max and he still has his, you know? It's just tough.
The routes to victory are just cut off.
Yes. Very, very.
I'll also add that when it came to last week's picks, none of us picked the Cleveland Cloisters to win. But now they're one of these teams, like the Baltimore Blazekins, that everybody slept on at first. And now they're sitting at 2-0. Clearly one of the strongest teams in the league. We got the Cleveland Cloisters, the Baltimore Blaziken, and the Brooklyn Barraskewda we seen in the last battle against Arts as our 2-0 leaders right now going into week 3. So now now that we get to see how well this team is put together, and get to break down a battle of how well this coach prepares, and we get to finally learn some more about where we are in this league and the power rankings, and that some of these coaches are some real threats.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This analysis. Go ahead, Arts.
I'm sorry if you. Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say something really quick. Even I can honestly say that everyone, even Eric, who's here with us, and the Bonita Boat Beaks, they are at 0-3, but all their losses have been hard fought. Like week 1, it went to timer. Week 2, I don't remember really. Oh, week 2 was against me actually. No, week 3 was against me. Week 2,
We don't talk about week 3. That hasn't happened yet. Shut up.
Even oh my god, I just read this. Oh my gosh, never mind. Yeah, so
Spoilers.
yeah. Even what I'm saying is basically even the team that haven't got a victory yet, they are battling really well. So even you got to come prepared every single week. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, that's definitely what I learned in week 2, is that preparation that I was doing in prior draft leagues, and just like kind of relying on my instincts in battle to get me through, it's not going to be enough in this competition. It's going to be much tighter than that, and you have to prepare. I'm going to double down on my preparation going into week 3, and
It's all you can do,
see
man.
some people already beat me to it, so I got to catch up.
Yeah.
But
But like,
go ahead.
so the thing you guys have to realize about draft leagues is just that even though like we drafted the best team we can, there's still going to be teams out there who have like the better team out of us. So it's basically like coaches need to prepare for a certain Pokemon, but if you over prepare for that one Pokemon, your whole team's going to be slacking against the rest of their team. And so that's what I've been noticing about like a couple.
Right. I agree.
So far, like some of them prepare too much for one Pokemon, and when that one Pokemon's gone, and they have other Pokemon there, like you, like this is
the team
this
just
is a
falls
mental
apart
game.
at that point.
Exactly, and it's like this is a mental game too. Like you have to know exactly what Pokemon you have. Like you have to make sure every one of your Pokemon has to be B for something. It can't just be for one thing. You have to multitask your Pokemon. Just in case one goes down, your strategy doesn't just go out the window right there, and then you have to have another Pokemon right there then to have a backup plan.
Right.
Exactly.
But go ahead, Kanto.
Well, I mean, at this point in the battle, I'm trying to play catch up. I really am. I'm trying to make like hard reads. Like if you saw, I went for a Will-O-Wisp on that Togekiss. I was like, okay, maybe he's going to use this opportunity to go into that Copperajah, but that was not, in fact, the case. In reality, though, once he gets his Copperajah out and I have to bring in my Mr. Rhyme, I've already lost because I can't do anything to that Gastrodon. I don't know how I didn't look at his team going into this and didn't prep for Gastrodon as much as I should have. Because I mean, I guess I thought I have a Roserade in the back that he probably wouldn't bring that against. Bring that in case I brought the Roserade. But it was just so good. It was so good against my team. Look how much Stealth Rocks did to me. I had to take this Earth Power. And I can't remember what I got. I feel like I just go for the Freeze Dry here. So I've got 3 Pokemon right there that it's super effective against. So I was like, I'm just going to spam Freeze Dry. Hopefully he switches. But this is where he goes into his Copperajah. And this is when he starts spanking me. Literally. But, hey man, what can you do? What can you do? That actually did more than I thought it was going to do.
Very parallel to my battle in that the big bully Gigantamax comes out and just does what it does. It just bullies.
Yeah. You have to make the most out of your G-Max Pokemon, or it's so hard to win.
Oh yeah. But I feel like in that situation, like stalling out, like if you have Pokemon with Protect or something, yeah, you're still going to take damage and they're still going to get their stuff up, but you take less damage from it. And taking away those Dynamax turns is crucial because Because yes, they're at two times as health, but as soon as they come back down, they're back to your standard health. So stalling out those turns wouldn't be a bad idea for most coaches.
Yeah.
True.
And I mean, so many of these matches are being decided or swayed heavily on that 1v on who has the better Gigantamax against the other person, not just in general, but against the other person. Like Toxtricity is a very good one. It's just fine, but practically useless if it was going one against Duraludon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And here's another point where those Stealth Rocks come in handy for him so much. Like, this Flare Blitz kills me. It wouldn't have killed me without that Stealth Rock damage. That little chip made it so good against my team. It was actually beautiful to see. Like, they played so well. I really love it. But I mean,
I was quite proud of my opponent as well. Even though I got 6-0'd, I looked at the score after the battle. I was just like, they really did that.
It's all for fun anyway, guys. Like, it's just all for fun.
They did the heck out of that.
And see, right there with the Stealth Rocks and the Steel Stealth Rocks, it just killed my Mr. Rhyme on entry. And then I'm standing here with a Togedemaru looking at a Gastrodon like, well, this is over. I can't do anything to it.
Very cute way to send it off, but not exactly doing much.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
I mean, you could just go for the flinches.
Yeah, listen. And it worked out so well. Look.
See? Wow, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to go.
It went so well. But props to the Cleveland Cloisters. Man, they prepared a lot. And I even talked to them after I talked to the coach to them after the battle, and they were so nice and just. I think they were a little scared going into our battle, so they prepped really, really, really hard. And you can tell, man, hard work pays off. So, shout outs to them.
But as we're continuing on, we do have some reports from some coaches that I got. I don't know if you guys got them from other players.
Cool.
The New York Knicks coach, Bishmi?
Yeah.
That's how you say?
Bishmi.
So this is what Bishmi said to me during his for his match. Go, yeah, a little post-match analysis for me. I wanted to say that I underestimated that the Raichu. I ran Calx and Pelipper lived any move from Gigantamax Flapple. I did not count him being Life Orb though. Carlos said in the end game I should have switched back and forth with Ferrothorn and Claydol. I EV trained my Gigantamax Orbeetle and take 2 hits from Banded Angel Slash. He was lucky enough to get to land 2 high rolls. My Gigantamax Orbeetle thinking Raichu had Shadow Ball. I knew it was faster from electric terrain. In all my practice matches, Claydol was faster than Vikavolt, but it turns out Vikavolt was max speed Choice Scarf. So I wanted to say good preps to Brendan's team.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was a direct quote from the New York Knicks coach, Bishmi.
Oh yeah, that's another team. If you guys don't mind, can you guys pull up the standings?
Got them up right now.
Yeah, I got them right here.
So looking at it, we do have the New York Knicks. They're 0-2 themselves, which is crazy because Bishmi is such a talented battler. But as you can see, the standings are extremely close. Close, and differential is going to matter so much in this league.
The important thing
I think that was the
point out in the standings is we have 6 teams, so that's half the league at 1-1, and I guess that kind of makes sense if you think about it, but it still goes to show how close the competition is. I think that the 2-0 teams, they definitely all have done their due credit to stand out as like the 3 top tier. You know, you got the Blaziken, the Cloisters, and the Brooklyn Bears. But most of the teams are sitting at 1-1, so it's, you know, still anybody's game. Everybody's played really well, and as Arts was saying, you know, I'm 0-2 as well, and we know Bishmi from another draft league, and he's a really good battler. So and they drafted a really good team as well. So it's surprising to see them and Eric's Benito Boltbeaks at 0-2. I'm sure that it's not going to be like a wide differential throughout the league.
Right. And seeing my name highlighted, seeing the New York Cinderace highlighted in red. Although red is my favorite color, I'm kind of upset. I don't like seeing it highlighted in red here. We got to change that for sure. We got to change that.
Yeah, I like how number 4.
All 1-1, but like I said, this is why I'm saying differentials going to. I think that's what hurt me the most against losing my week 2 battle, was the fact that I was a 3-0, because I know how important differential is going to be in this league.
So if y'all want to speak on I'll talk real quick on the rest of the week 2 matchups where we picked them and all that, and we can get into week 3. So we already talked about our matchups, so I'll just kind of run through them real quick. We of course had Baltimore over Atlanta, and that was my match where only Kanto had picked them to win. But then we had all picked Kanto and the Nashville Slashers to beat the 2-0 Cleveland Cloister, so none of us got any point there. We all picked wrong on the Brooklyn Barracuda over Arts' New York's Cinderace.
It's because he put it for himself.
They're also sitting at 2-0 now, so I'm sure not many of us will make that mistake again. Most of us had picked the New England Crawdons over the Benito Boltbeaks, but Arts has to hold that L for underestimating our man Shade.
Yeah, hold that damn L.
He has to hold that one all on his own. And then for the battles that we didn't talk about, the Dendamil Dragonites.
I think that's right.
They beat the Pittsburgh Steelix, and we all actually had picked that one correctly. So that's
I'm on board.
That's Art's single correct.
Hey, you didn't have to say it like that. You didn't have to say it like that.
But hey, I mean, there's really little information to go on. Now we have a lot more in breaking down some of these battles. And then also...
Hey, Dragon Knights, we still waiting on those videos, bro. We still waiting, bro. I want to see them.
And then also, we heard a little bit about what had happened in the New York Knicks versus Detroit Decidui. But of course, the Detroit Decidui had won that game. And only Shade of Defeat had picked them. I think, me and Arts know that Bishme's a really talented battler, so he's going to be a threatening coach moving forward. But, Detroit Decidui proved most of us wrong on that one.
I definitely think as the season goes on.
Wrong. I had faith in my man.
Proved most of us wrong on that.
I believe as the season goes on, the New York Knicks are gonna start picking up some crazy victories. I legit have total faith in them to start picking up some of these W's.
If y'all want to start talking about this next matchup right here, we got Shade versus the Dendamil Dragonites, which we haven't seen on video yet, but we hear that's coming. And they're both sitting at 1-1. So, Shade, what do you think coming into this matchup?
So, the first thing I know for sure, 100% he's going to bring is Darmanitan. That's 100% going to be his goal. Because he wants to have that thing have the most kills in the season. Like, he wants that to be the lead, season leading kills. So, I'm prepping for that. It's scary, but it's only scary if I don't prep right. So,
I'm sure you're probably picking yourself on that one. I got you as well going into this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident.
Interesting thing about this is,
please pick the Dragon Knights. Just pick the Dragon Knights.
See, at this point, I don't even know if I should give my pick because I don't want to jinx anybody. But the thing I was gonna say is the thing about the Dendamil Dragonite. Hopefully we're saying it right, dude. If not, just correct us whenever you get the chance. We said we don't have any footage, and I remember when we created the draft, the very first draft analysis video with myself and actually Amoonguss and Bishme, when we analyzed the team, we said this looks like a Trick Room team, but at the same time, he does have things like Dracozolt, which you'll probably want a Choice Scarf on, and Darmanitan, which also could run a Choice Scarf or even a Choice Band. So the thing is, we don't know how he's playing this team, whether or not he's even using Trick Room, but he has G-Max Hatterene, so I'm pretty sure this is a Trick Room team. But we don't know. That's the interesting thing about this Dragonite team to me. Because to me, it seems like a Trick Room team, but then it has mons that you wouldn't want in Trick Room. I mean, I guess Dracozolt isn't the fastest mons, like base 75, so in Trick Room, it could work in a lot of matchups, I guess. But still, it's very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how you prep for them.
So,
are you taking the Dragonites?
The Dragon, that's who they're facing, right? They're facing the New England Carlins versus the Dragonites, right?
yes.
Correct.
Right. So, yeah, I'm talking about the Dragonites there.
Are you taking them?
We see what the team can do, but we don't know how they're running it.
Yeah.
Are you picking them though?
We're just trying to figure this out.
He's stalling for time.
Let me see. I did it. Does anyone else want to give the analysis really quick on the matchup before I give my pick? Because I still haven't made up my mind yet.
Dragonauts all day, baby.
Alright.
Yeah, I gotta say the Dragonites as well. That G-Max Hatterene just does way too much.
So next week I'm gonna cuss out Kanto on this, and Eric, I'm gonna send you a nice heartwell message.
Shade's not
Back
gonna
that
get
way.
lucky and get non-Pokemon sleeping this week. No, in all
Do it.
serious
Do
though,
it.
I do
What he's
think.
gonna do is he's
That
gonna
makes it
get
even. Alright, what you got?
paralysis
2 and 2.
All right. So, do I want to pick to give my honest feelings? Or do I want to try to force a win here?
Honest feelings.
I'm
Honest
going
feelings.
to go with the Dragonites. Unfortunately,
Alright.
I just think that they could really exploit a lot of what you. I mean, because even if you want to say you have Galvantula, you're not even safe really to set up sticky webs. They just have so many ways to exploit your team.
I have so many ways to exploit that Trick Room too.
Well,
I can't wait to see it, bro.
not to cut y'all short, but on the next one we do kind of have a similar story. Where we have one of our guys versus a guy that we don't really know a whole lot about yet. They're sitting at 1-1, both teams, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelix versus the Nashville Slashers. I always do my picks before we record, and I got the Nashville Slashers on this one. What do you think, Kanto, going into your matchup?
I think, and I know I say this all the time, but it's because it's the truth, that he has one of the best G-Max Pokemon in this league. Charizard is absolutely a menace. That
thing's a
thing
monster.
destroys so much of my team. I really feel like I will have to play a near perfect game to win. I really do. That thing gets so much coverage, and it's just good against basically everything I have. Like, and every Pokemon I have to counter it, it can also counter me. So like, I'm just gonna have to play perfect. So I don't know. I'm not saying I'm taking the Steelix, but I'm probably taking the Steelix. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best, guys. I'm trying to stay.
Kanto's gonna be the first one to put pride over picks in the weekly pick'em battle.
That's just the way I see
I
it.
respect it. He's being honest. I respect
Listen,
it.
I'm
I
gonna
respect
try
it.
my best. I'm gonna try my hardest.
That's all we
What
can
about
do.
the rest of you guys? What do you guys got on this
Yeah,
one?
this is a tough matchup.
I faced the Steelix
I'm gonna
week
go-
one, and it was hard. Even with they
Take the
have
Pittsburgh
4
Steelix week one.
poison types, so you'd think you could exploit that, but they've also got the 2 dark types to take care of their ground weakness and psychic weakness. So
I don't want to seem like I'm
think
showing
take that.
unfair prejudice, because in my opinion, yes, Gigantamax Charizard's a really threatening Gigantamax, but Gigantamax Lapras is one of the best in
I'm about to say.
my opinion.
That's definitely top 2 for
Look
sure.
at it the way you looked at my last battle, Lapras versus Charizard, it's an obvious Lapras.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. That's true. I've got to play well.
That's
though.
what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at.
So in Battle of G-Maxes, I think you have it, but the battle between like the rest of your teams, I think that's what's going to really decide that battle.
Are you taking the Slashers or the Steelix, Shade?
So I team prep with Kanto Critic. For anyone who doesn't know, I team prep with him. I run my weird sets and then I run like the meta sets. I think I want to go with. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Nashville Slashers.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, F you.
Eric, you want to pick on this one as well?
That's a pride pick.
It's not a pride pick. I don't like him.
I'm going to go with the Nashville Slashers as well. I'm going to go with the Nashville Slashers. I love that G-Max matchup. Like you said, Charizard is scary, but you have things that you can do with Lapras that can set your team up as well. Yeah, I believe in your team, bro. Like, I believe in this team.
I didn't hear Eric. Did you give up pick, Eric?
I went for Steelix.
All right, awesome. I mean, I definitely think that's going to be one of the closer ones, 1-1 versus 1-1.
This might be match of the week.
But
you never know.
Speaking of close matchups, we got the match of the undefeated next. We got the Baltimore Blaziken that I just took a hard L to, the first 6-0 of the regular season, and the Brooklyn Barracuda that has played some tough opponents and
Brooklyn Barracuda
2-0.
Brooklyn Barracuda, they're gonna get all the crits in the world.
We already know it's
Brooklyn Barracuda all the way.
Barracuda. And the truth of the matter is, shout out to Carlos. He's a great battler and friend of mine.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, that Baltimore Blaziken team has just got so much value. I have to take them.
Nah, bro, those crits, man, those crits. I'm going with the Brooklyn Barracuda all the way.
I'm with you, Amoonguss. I'm going with the Blazikens here. I just think, like, that sand core that they have, man, and with the Duraludon, it's going to be tough. And they're both good battlers, so I think that's going to be a fantastic match to watch this week.
Oh, it's marquee.
No, that's going to be a great one. That's going to be a great one for sure.
Call that one match of the week, the battle of the undefeated.
Oh yeah. Well, I look at this team and know what like his team does. I want to say I'm going to go ahead and pick up Brooklyn Barracudas in this match, just because Trick Room will handicap Baltimore Blaziken's team and how he wants to try to set it up as. Because you have Drampa with choice specs, that's a really great mon right there with Drampa. Then you have Whimsicott that can get rid of all the hazards. You have Rhyperior that can run really good in Trick Room. You have Mimikyu and Gengar that can set up the Trick Room, as well as also being very threatening mons themselves. And then you also have Corviknight who's a flying type.
Yeah. Very true.
I want to say this will go. I want to say this match goes towards Brooklyn Barracudas. Is it smart for me to go with Art's choice? Maybe not, but
I was gonna wait till we got done with the picks, but the pick scores is not that bad. Arts just so happens to be at the bottom. It's not by much though. Eric, what do you think on this one before we move on?
I think I'm honestly going to go with Arts as well. I'm going to go with the Barracuda. I think it could pull it out.
All right, cool. So then
we also got a battle of like two very likely MVP picks. We got Mimikyu, which is 5 kills and 1 death, and the Escudero at 5 kills and 0 death. So it's gonna be interesting to see who gains the lead.
Oh yeah.
In the MVP race.
Yeah, good point. So then on the next one though, it's kind of the opposite, right? We got the 0-2 New York Nicket versus the Cleveland Cloister at 2-0. And I mean, I just gotta say, I gotta bet, as cool as I am with Bishme, I gotta see him get on the W column before I bet against an undefeated team like that. I gotta take the Cleveland Cloister on this one. They play really well. They've handled their business. I got them ranked as the number 2 team in the league behind the Baltimore Blaziken that 6-0'd me. So what do you guys think?
I think I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Cloisters as well. It's not because of 0-2 versus 2-0. It's because the Cleveland Cloisters have a really good matchup this week too.
Oh yeah.
I agree fully.
Really do.
that Vaporeon and Gastrodon, like that could be really tough for Bishme to get around.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Not saying that he can't do it because he's a good battler, but
right, no, but he's running a range setup. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cloisters have a Storm Draymon and a Water Absorb Mon, so it could really he could pose a lot of problems for Bishme.
Yep, he's gonna have to play it right, prepare. But so what are the rest of you guys' picks on this one?
I'm saying Bishme can pull it off, but that's just because I'm biased because he hasn't won either.
Oh, so you're going for the underdog this week?
Yeah, I'm an underdog myself. You guys stick together.
Nice.
I just looking at the matchups and like I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Cleveland Cloisters. That's like because Dragapult's scary, and like you guys say, Vaporeon and also Gastrodon can be scary. He can bring his Ferrothorn, but Ferrothorn can get will get by Charizard or Girder. And does Bishme even have any knockoff Pokemon?
Well, Ferrothorn has knockoff.
Ferrothorn could get knockoff.
I still at that point.
Yeah, I understand your point. What about you, Kanto?
I do think the Cleveland Cloisters are going to take it. It's just
you're just coming off playing them, so
yeah. Well, it's such a strong team, and like Arts was talking about, they just have a good matchup. They really do. And then you got Dragapult back there in the back too with Togekiss. Like you have the chance to get some crazy hacks in there at some points, and it's just a really good team, man. I am with you though, Amoonguss. I think they're one of the top two, if not one of the best team in the league. I really do. I think Baltimore Blaze
personally,
are
I think
the
this
best.
team might be the best team in the league. The Cleveland,
Well,
I would think is the Cleveland Cloisters. I'm rocking with them.
Baltimore Blaziken are definitely going to have to prove it if they're the best team in the league. If they're able to beat the Brooklyn Barracuda, is going to be hard to argue that they're not, ahead in the power ranking.
That point there, yeah.
But the Cleveland Cloister, if they can maintain the 3-0, then they're making a really strong case as well. Like I say, I just played the Baltimore Blaziken, but it might be a little bit of personal bias, but I have them just slightly ahead of the Cleveland Cloister. Anyways, though, we'll move on, and we got both our guest Eric's matchup versus Arts, and the Bonita Boltbeaks versus the New York Cinderace. Now, not to go against the underdogs too much, but I'm taking the Cinderace in this one, just because I think that the Gigantamax that he has is just really valuable. He's going to be able to just like do a lot of whatever he wants with it, and it's hard to get around. I know from week one that it's hard to prepare for that.
I got some stuff for that. Don't worry. Doesn't work out.
You're probably taking the Bonita Boltbeaks, Eric. But what about the rest of you guys? You are taking yourself.
I'm gonna go Bonita Boltbeaks just because last time I was overly, I don't want to say arrogant, but overly confident about a victory. Some shenanigans went down, so I learned my lesson. I'm going this week.
Yeah.
As it was scary.
But it's nice to be humbled early season versus late season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
So,
I think this may be one of the most even battles we have this week. Like I'm looking at both their teams right now, and I just don't see like a clear winner. Like I think it's going to be a very good game. I'm going to go Bonita Boltbeaks too.
so wait, we got Arts, Eric, and Kanto for the Bonita Boltbeaks.
I'm going New York Cinderace.
Yep.
What was that? Shade for the New York Cinderace?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
All right. Cool. All right, so then that brings us to the last one, and that's my matchup against the Detroit Decidueye. And they've obviously played well. I could have played better in both of my matchups. I kind of maybe haven't hit my full potential yet this season with this team. But in my defense, looking at this matchup, I think I got a pretty good Gigantamax advantage. I think I have some pretty solid reasons, not just the fact that I'm the coach, to be taking the Atlanta Sables on this one. What about you guys?
Oh yeah, this week I think it's probably the. Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, I think you got this not because of matchup, but once again, you're also one of my fellow zero tutors. we gotta stick together.
Y'all gotta stick together.
Stick together.
Climb on each other's back out the hole. Y'all got this.
It is fair to say that the coaches in this league are so good that it's hard to see like the New York Knickets or the Atlanta Sable or Bonita Bolt Beaks, any of them being 0-3 or moving on much further without a win.
Oh, for sure. I think
I'm going to go. Go ahead, bro. This always go
dude,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think
No, it's not up, bro.
I think Amoonguss, you're gonna take it this week. I really do, because your toxicity is finally gonna get a chance to shine, man, and I think you're gonna make the most of it.
I agree with Kanto here. That's the logic I'm gonna go with. I think you finally have a decent Gigantamax matchup, as well as just matchup in general. You could do a lot of things with your team versus the Detroit Decidueye that you weren't able to do the first 2 weeks. So I think this is, you finally gonna get on board.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta Sables as well. Like they said, the Gigantamax matchup is so good. I think the rest of your mons will do a lot of work to whatever team he decides to bring.
So that's going to be the only pick of the week where everybody picked the same thing. But as we talked about a little bit before,
Don't let us down, bro.
There were a couple of those in last week's matchups, and 2 of which we all guessed wrong. So I was just going to, before we run out of things to talk about in this video, I was going to go over what we did score last week. So not to hang the L on my man too hard, but Arts only got 1 right last week. So
Only.
So we'll see if he can bounce back. 6 games a week, and 2 of them nobody got right. So it's anybody's game, but he's sitting at 1, and I'm only 1 above him at 2. So I only got 2 of my picks right last week. And then Kanto and Shade, you guys are both tied with half of the picks right. Like I said, with the little bit of information that we had, the picks were not that on point yet. We'll see if we can get a little better at picking these games as the season moves on, a little more accurate, and how the points wind down. It's a lot more
I'm
spread
excited
out
for the matches.
too.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be good.
That's some good matches this week.
All right, so I don't know if y'all got anything else.
I think we're good for today, unless anyone else wants to add something.
Let's go ahead and add this at least. So here's the standings right now that we're in. Right now, the number 1, we have the Baltimore Blazikens. At number 2, we have the Brooklyn Barracudas. Number 3, Cleveland Cloisters. Number 4, New England Cronons. Number 5, Dindemel. Dragonites. At number 6, we have Detroit Decidueyes. Number 7, Pittsburgh Steelix. Number 8, Nashville Slashers. Number 9, New York Cinderace. Number 10, New York Knickets. Number 11, Bonita Bolt Beaks. And at number 12, Atlanta Sable. Those are your, so as of week 2, this is standing.
I'm definitely the underdog of the league going into week 3, but we're going to turn it around.
Yo, that's crazy, man. I would have never expected this. Like, just being like, I've battled you so much, I would have never expected this. This is great, in my opinion, because it just shows how competitive the league is.
Hey, it's only
How
week
great
2,
the
man.
other
wait.
coaches
Only
are.
week 2.
Right. Also, definitely give a shout out before we sign off to our guest Eric, and hopefully, if anybody else in the draft league is interested in joining one of these videos, we can continue to bring.
We gotta get everyone on at least once. Everyone has to come by.
It's gonna be the week 10 that happens.
So
for playoffs or something.
So make sure that y'all hit one of us up and see if we can get y'all in. You know, everybody's of course we're probably gonna do one at a time and take turns. But
Right.
We would love to get every single member of the draft league in. There's enough weeks to do that. So if you would like to be a guest, just let us know.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I don't know if y'all want to drop a quick promo real quick and sign off, but I think that's about everything, right?
Hey, go ahead, do your thing.
Well, I mean, for me, you can find me on Twitch with streams, battle streams, usually every Friday. Also, I upload battles and draft content to YouTube, various Pokemon-related things. So follow me at Actually Amoonguss to see my draft battles every week and my other leagues that I'm involved in. You guys want to take a go? Go ahead.
Kanto?
Yeah, I'm Kanto Critic, youtube.com/Kanto Critic. I stream a lot of Pokemon, a lot of Smash, just kind of whatever I'm feeling that day. You know, I'm really excited. I'm having a lot of fun with this draft league, guys. I do want to say that. And if you're a coach and you don't have a YouTube or whatever, still contact us. We would love just to talk to you about like how your match went and get notes and stuff like that, because we're really trying to take this to the next level. And we would love it if you guys would help with that as well. So, but that's my spiel.
So I'm Shady Defeat. You guys can find me on YouTube. I'm primarily stream and post Pokemon videos there. I also do a little bit of Warzone and Persona 5. But like Kanto said, and like we've been all saying, if you guys want to just send us anything on your match, like tell us how it went, I'll do what I did for Fish Me. I'll just read it, I'll quote it word from word, and whatever you send me will be said on the video. And that's all I gotta say.
Hey, so I would just like to say shout out to everyone in attendance today. That's actually Amoonguss. You can find him on YouTube and Twitch, as he said. Kanto Critic also on YouTube, as well as Shade Defeat. All amazing guys, and definitely I want to shout out Eric for taking time out his day to stop by and do this video with us. It's much appreciated.
I don't really have much else to do.
I feel you, bro. Alright, so yeah, before we go, I just want to say, as the rest of them said as well, if there's anyone else that's in the league that wants to do a video, we really encourage you guys to stop by at least once. We want to get everyone on at least once, so hopefully next week we could get a new guest. But with that, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks for the big response on the first video. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of people watching. That makes me excited, man. It gets me hyped.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah, shout out to everyone that came by for week one. Is much appreciated. We really appreciate you guys' support in the league, and we glad that you guys are enjoying the content as well.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like I was saying, with that, we gonna bounce up out of here. Catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.